The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Getting Started session at Nadex, where we're going to be discussing binary and knockout options. And we're going to go through a welcome session, show you around the new Nadex platform, navigating around it, identifying some opportunities, being able to understand the markets, understand these products, and how you can begin to trade them. My name is Todd Rich. I'm head of education here at Nadex. And before I jump into the session, I do have a couple of housekeeping items that I would like to take care of quickly first. Number one, I do need to put this up, this disclaimer. I'm going to leave it up for 30 seconds or so, because this session, as are all of our webinars, are brought to you by our compliance department. Yes, trading on Nadex does involve risk. In fact, all trading involves risk, and any trading or investment decisions that you make are entirely your own responsibility. This is important. This is an educational session today. I am going to be going through some real life examples, and I don't want you to take or construe anything I say today as a buy or sell recommendation. I am doing this strictly for your education purposes only. That is important. So now that we've got that little piece of housekeeping out of the way, this is what we're going to cover today. I'm going to do a brief review, high level, on binary options and knockout options. And I'm going to show you some resources that are available to you on the Nadex website. And I'm going to tell you, it's kind of exciting. We're going to be having a new website coming out soon with a new look and feel. Hopefully you like it, but I'll show you where you can locate some things now. And then we're going to jump over and we're going to navigate around the new platform. I'm going to show you some of the functionality. I'm going to show you how you can look at the markets and understand these products, how you place trades, and then the other functionality. I will spend a bit of time on the charts, because a lot of the trading that's done on Nadex is based on technical analysis, and we've got some wonderful tools available to you to help you in your journey and in your analyzing of the markets and trying to make some trading decisions. The one thing that I don't have up here on the agenda, which I ought to have, is that this is an interactive session. We have had an enormous amount of new customers coming into our markets, all looking for an opportunity in regards to limited risk, limited reward price action for a variety of products. And I do want this to be interactive. There is a chat box or even questions. You can enter questions, either one of them. The questions might be easier, but please, I've got my colleague Nelson in the background who's backing me up. It's been so busy on these lately that I haven't been able to get to all the questions, and I really want to encourage you. If we go through anything and you've got a question, and there is no question that is too simple or outrageous, please type it in. Nelson is there to help. And I tell you what, if you've got a question, there's a good probability or chance that somebody else has the same question and doesn't want to ask. And if need be, when we come back at the end, Nelson may even go, hey, by the way, these were a couple of the questions that we'd like to go back and revisit to make sure everyone was clear on it. So please, this is interactive. We are here for you. And as I get into the we are here for you, before I go over to the website and the platform, I do want to put this up here. We are indeed here for you. We want to help you any way that we can. Call us. There's a phone number. We are available. Any questions you've got, whether it's opening or funding an account, to navigating and placing trades, to understanding maybe some of our products, whatever it is that you have a question about, call us, email us. We are available. I can't emphasize that enough. We are a very customer centric organization and we want to help you. We do better if you are successful and you do better. So anything that we can do to help you along your journey, please don't hesitate to contact us. And in fact, sometimes it's kind of wise just to check in if you are absolutely brand new to Nadex. We do run promotions sometimes. There was a period ago where we ran a refer a friend program where you could get paid to refer some friends to the exchange. We're right now running a first deposit incentive program. If you're brand new to Nadex, there is an initial deposit incentive program where we'll give you up to 10% of your deposit as a bonus. Now, there are some rules around how that works. You have to deposit the money within 60 days of your application, and you have to do 5 trades within 30 days of funding, and you'll get the bonus up to $100. So if you deposited, say, $500, your 10% incentive would be $50. If you put in $1,000, you would get the full $100 incentive bonus. If you put in more than that, your incentive bonus is capped at $100. But if you've got questions around that, please reach out to our customer service, check in with us. We are here to help. Now with that, I'm going to go ahead and switch over and let's take a peek at our current website. And before I get into some of the trading platform and the functionality over there, I do want to point out that we do have up here in the webinar section, I don't know how you were notified, maybe you got an email and you figured this out, but it's not a bad idea to take a peek at what's in there. In fact, it looks like that needs to, it looks like I've cached something because I know this one from yesterday has actually been moved to on demand and the recording is available. I clearly need to clear the cache in here. But here's the session that we're seeing right now. This is being recorded and you'll be able to access the recording later. But we've got other ones that are coming up. If you want to learn about some educational topics, we do a market update on Tuesday of every week where you can do a deep dive into the different products and the different asset classes. And you never know what other upcoming events we're going to have that might be of interest to you. But I'd also like to point out that we have our on-demand library where you can go in and watch. I know everyone likes to consume their content nowadays. The way I watch TV is I'll binge watch. So if you want to binge watch Nadex educational content, we do have some great content up there that you might find interesting to help you along your journey. All right, with that, let's go ahead. I'm going to go over up here and I try to let you know where I'm clicking. I'm clicking on login in the upper right hand corner. And I do want to show you our new platform. As I mentioned, we have a new website that is coming and it's very cool and modern and we're excited about it. But we also have a new trading platform. And right now it's called beta and you'll click on join the beta and that's what I'm clicking on to bring you over to this new experience because I think it's much cleaner and easier to use, and I think even a little bit more intuitive, so it will help. Before I jump into binary options and knockout options, I want to give you a little bit of lay of the land. If you've never been to the new platform before, it is broken up into 3 sections. You'll notice on the left-hand side, we've got all of our products listed by market class and by product type. By the way, I keep using the word knockouts, knockout options. We currently call them touch brackets. They're not going to change. It's just we're going to call them knockout options because that's what they are. The standard industry vernacular, if you were to talk to anyone out there and say, what's a knockout option? That's the common industry term. Nadex is also branded their own term touch brackets, but we think it's going to be a little less confusing to call them knockouts because that's what they are. And if you don't know what they are, I'm going to show you and you'll understand by the end of the session. We also have call spreads and I'll mention those as well. It's important to note there's a slight difference between call spreads and touch brackets, but we'll get into that. But my main focus is going to be around binary options. Um, and so before we get into that, I wanted you to notice that there's the product section over here on the left. And by the way, I can hide all of these sections, and I will as I go to make more screen real estate to make it easy for you to see and what I'm showing you. At the bottom of the screen is your account, what orders you have working, what positions you have, and even your trading history for the last 24 hours. And then in the center, this is the main workspace. And currently our workspace is empty because I haven't clicked on anything. So let's start off in the world of binary options. What are binary options? They're short-term trading contracts. If you're looking for price action, you're in the right place. These are short-term contracts where you make a prediction. Is something going to happen? Yes or no. And you make a determination on what you see in the market and what your opinion is. And if you think it's going to happen, you think yes, you would buy the contract. And if you think no, you would sell it. And all of these contracts are they'll total $100. And I'm going to show you that on the order ticket. But the most that any contract in the binary world is worth is $100. So the price that you're trading is I'll risk 30 to potentially make 70, or I'll risk 70 to potentially make 30. We'll get into that. Very simple contracts, very easy to understand. In fact, let's go ahead and click on one. And I am going to, just because it's been such a hot topic and everyone's been asking, I'm going to show you how you could trade around the price of oil. So I'm going to go into our commodities contracts. And by the way, we've got 5-minute contracts, which are all in foreign exchange pairs. All right, so if you want some very short-term, fast price action, we have 5 minutes. We have 20 minutes in our indexes. All right, what's going to happen in the markets? What's going to happen in the Nasdaq, which is the U.S. Tech 100, or the S&P 500, or the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the Wall Street 30? What's going to happen in the next 20 minutes? Is it going to be above or below a certain level? Lots of price action. And then we've got where we have they're more hourly and daily or weekly contracts. The longest contract we have goes out a week. I'm going to go ahead and click on commodities for right now, and I'm going to take a look at our gold contract and notice here that we've got one that ends here in 46 minutes. There's going to be some price action there. I'm going to actually use the daily one. All right, so it's still going to have a lot of price action, but when I'm giving a demonstration and I'm showing you, it's it's easy if it's a little easier if it's not flinging all over the place. So I am actually going to click. Oh, that's gold. I'm sorry, I clicked on gold. I wanted to click on oil. So we're going to go to crude oil daily. Here we go. And now notice what it's going to do. It's going to bring up a bunch of different levels. Do I think oil in the next, and by the way, it tells you 2 hours and 16 minutes, is it going to be above a certain price? So I'm actually going to pick any one of these prices here. Let's go ahead and pick 1430 because it looks like it's right in the middle there. I'm going to click 1430. And when I click it, I bring up a chart and an order ticket. I am now going to hide these to give us a little bit more space so we can take a look. What do these binary contracts mean? And I'm actually going to zoom in on the chart a little bit. And you can do that just by scrolling. There's also ways to do it over here where you click and you hold and you scroll, and there's other buttons. You can even zoom in and out using some of these buttons up at the top. But let's take a look at what are we actually talking about. When I clicked on this contract, notice that it brought up an order ticket on the right-hand side, and it tells me exactly what I'm trying to potentially trade. Will crude oil finish higher than 1430 at 2:30 today? Okay, that's the question. Do I think that's going to happen? Yes or no? And I can make my prediction. Now, if I think oil is going to go lower, and I've got a chart here that shows me, hey, I don't know if it's going to go higher or lower. And you can see we have a strike up here up at uh, at 1470. Um, we've even got one down below here at 1390, but I'm picking the one that's right in the middle. And on the chart itself, you'll notice this dark blue button. That's the current indicative price of where this could settle. These settle based on the futures contract. So everything we have settles to the price of the futures contract. In currencies, they settle to the spot market. All right. But it's important to know what you're actually trading. But we've got the indicative price. Right now, oil is the indicative price is it'll close at 1438, right around there. Now, in regards to this contract, and by the way, I am in a demo environment. If you don't have a demo account, I would encourage that you open a demo account and practice a little bit trading in a demo so you can get a feel for it. But do realize that even though our demo environment has real prices, it's not going to be the same experience as a live experience. I want to just mention that because not all these eyeballs are necessarily looking at the demo environment. A lot of people are looking in the live environment. So if you wanted to say trade between a bid-ask spread, in a demo environment, no one may be seeing that, but in a live environment, people would be seeing that. Now, what am I actually doing? Do I think oil is going to be above that level? Look at this. We are right there and oil's been selling down. And I think oil is going to continue to go lower like it's doing right now. And I could say no. I think it's going to be lower. Notice when I clicked on sell, this is my profit range. I think I'm selling, and notice how the chart turned red over here. Wow, oil's dropping pretty quickly. And if oil does not close higher than 1430, so if it closes at 1430 or lower, this contract will settle at $100. Now, if I sell this for something, and let's just pick a price that I would sell it at. I'm going to pick a middle price. Let's just do this so make the math easy. If I could sell one at 44, all right, I would collect $44, and that's the most I can make. We tell you up front the most you could potentially make or potentially lose before you even place the order. If I were to sell one of these at 44, the most I can make is 44. Now, if oil closes above 1430, the contract would settle at 100 and I would lose $56. Okay, so I know going in. Now, if I want to place one of these orders, and I'm going to go ahead and let's just move it up to 45 just for funds because it looks like it's rallying a little bit. I would place my order. So I know here I made it 45. I click place order. I get alerted that my order has been placed. And you'll notice that it's now in my order screen at the bottom. And in this demo environment, you actually see my offer. I'm trying to sell one at 45. Now, in the real world, could that trade? Maybe. In a demo world, will that trade? It'll only trade, probably if it crosses the bid-ask spread. But I just wanted you to see that you can potentially trade between the bid-ask spread. If, on the other hand, I thought, oh, look, it actually traded. Somebody traded with me in a demo environment, and notice I no longer have an order. I now have a position, right? I actually, wow, look at that. I got a fill I did. I got my fill at 45. I sold one at 45, all right? And, my prediction is that oil is not going to close higher than 1430. That's a binary option, right? I have sold one of these contracts at 45. I could potentially make $45, $45 if it closes below 1430. If it closes above 1430, it'll go to 100 and I'll lose $55. Now, here's the interesting thing about these binary contracts is just because there's an expiration, and I know this expires in 2 hours and 10 minutes, does not mean I have to wait to expiration to see what happens. Maybe I think oil's just going to trade down a little bit lower here, and I sold one at 45, and maybe I want to make a quick $10. I could try to buy it back a little lower. In fact, if I wanted to close that position, right, I would enter a contra order. All right, I just clicked on the order down here because I want to try to close it, and it's going to say, oh, well, you want to buy this back, but what price do I want to pay? All right, now I'm using limit orders. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, I'd buy it back $10 lower at 35. All right. Now, it's calculating my maximum profit and maximum loss based on this particular order, but I know that I sold it at 45. If I buy it back at 35, I would make $10 minus my exchange fees. And maybe I think that's, a nice quick little trade instead of waiting 2 hours and 10 minutes. Maybe that's just what I want to do. And I'm going to go ahead and place that order below the market. And you now see that my order is I'm trying to close my position. I've got a bid below. Now you don't have to do that. You can wait and see uh, whether you're going to be right or wrong. These are pretty small contracts, but I wanted to demonstrate that you don't necessarily have to wait until expiration. If I buy this back for $35 and I make my 10 bucks and it does stay below 1430, I missed my opportunity to make an additional $35. I just took my $10 and said thank you. So you never, you can make that choice yourself on where you want to get in and where you want to get out. All right, and with these contracts, and I'm going to scroll, I'm going to bring this in a little bit more. You do have a variety, we call them strike prices, but levels at where you could potentially try to buy and sell. Now I'm going to bring my markets page back up by clicking on markets, and under oil, and again, I'm going to my daily, you can see all the different strike prices or levels where you can make a prediction. Now, what I do like to point out, and this is kind of interesting that some people miss this, is what these numbers represent is the probability at this moment in time that this statement will be true. So when I'm trading something down, do I think oil? Let's take a look at something higher. Oil is right now trading at 1392.93 a barrel. Do I think it could potentially go from 13, just up to 1590? Okay, if I look at the middle of the bid-ask spread, that's around 15. The market is only giving it a 15% chance of being true. That's what that number means. And it's a great way to think about that. Right now, there's only a 15% chance that oil will close greater than 1590. And these numbers will change as time goes on throughout the day and as the price uh, of oil in the futures market goes up and down. If you want to do a bit of a bigger deep dive into what binary options are, I would recommend we have a whole webinar, basics of binaries, as I mentioned in our on-demand session, on-demand section. Go take a look at it and review that. So that's just a little introduction to binaries. Now, before I go over to touch brackets, I do want to show you the functionality we've got. As I mentioned, a lot of this is based on technical analysis. We've got a very robust charting package. I am now going to shrink everything, and I am going to show you a few things that you can do with the charts that can help you make make some of your decisions. Again, I'm not actually paying attention. I just want to point this out. I've got my colleague in the background, Nelson. So if you have questions, I hope you're hitting and hammering him with questions. On our charts, all right, we've got some buttons up top where you can customize your charts. You can customize the range for the right now I'm using candlestick charts at what type of tick level you would like to see. And we do deeper dives into the functionality and different technical analysis. We've got the time frames that you might want to choose in your chart. But what I really want to show you right now is we've got some indicators and some drawing tools. Let's start with some indicators. All right, we've got a variety of technical indicators that are pre-built into our platform. If you are unfamiliar with what any of these are, notice that we have a little I for information button that will actually give you some education around what these are. Whether a lot of people like to use moving averages or moving average convergence divergence. We do have some education, and if you're looking for a deeper dive into that, I would recommend our our partners over at DailyFX. They have a lot of education on technical indicators that's available to you. DailyFX, I would check them out. A fantastic resource. They are part of IG Group, as is Nadex. Let's go ahead and draw one of these indicators on here. If you like Bollinger Bands, okay? And again, if you're not sure with what Bollinger Bands are, it does give you a very nice definition. But when I click on that, it will automatically draw them on your chart. And it's going to give me my potential resistance band up at the top and potential support band below. And if you'd like to customize any of these indicators, you'll see them down in the lower left-hand corner by clicking on them. You can then customize the period, the deviations, how you view it, how do you want to see it drawn on your chart, and you change whatever it is that you want to change. I'm going to go ahead and hit apply, and whatever changes you make will be saved to your chart. The other thing that I want to point out is you can put a variety of things on your chart, and once you've set it up, you don't have to necessarily go back and rebuild that every single time. If you right click on your chart, this will also bring up all of the menu items of things that you can do to customize your charts. But one of the things is layouts, and you can save a layout. And when you save a layout, you give it a name, and it looks like I had saved one Bollinger Bands with MACD on it once before, but then you could save it and you can recall and put that back up without you having to go through the process of rebuilding them all again. Again, if you've got more questions about that, reach out to our customer service, or hopefully you're even hitting up Nelson right now. The other thing I like to point out is our drawing tools. And when I click on drawings, there you can draw shapes, you can draw your own trend lines, you can whatever it is that you would like to put up. I'm going to pick one. People like Fibonacci, right? It's a sequence that you see in mathematics. It's something you see in nature, and a lot of people like to apply that to their charts. So it's as simple as clicking once in the upper left-hand corner, then I'm just dragging my mouse over to the right-hand corner, and notice it's building those retracement levels, and I can expand or contract this however I see fit. And you'll see you can usually fit some of these to the chart. When I click again, it will stay on there. And you'll notice your Fibonacci lines are these dotted black lines. And to a certain extent, sometimes that really does help. I mean, you can see earlier in the day, this particular level on the Fibonacci retracement was a resistance level. And then once it broke through pretty big. But then when it came back down, notice that it was a support level for a little bit. And then when it broke through that support, it actually went down and hit the next Fibonacci level below, where it was support again, and it bounced off of that. It blew right through that. I mean, it's really kind of remarkable. And then this level up here was resistance until it broke down again, and then it just kept on breaking through these levels, boom, 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 boom. According, to Fibonacci, this thing might actually end up coming down a little lower. So anyhow, point being, as an introductory session, I wanted to show you that you can customize your charts with indicators or with drawings. And I'm going to go ahead and clear my little drawings out now. And notice we do make it kind of nice and easy that we do put the levels of the binary options right on the chart. So if I wanted to pick a different level, let's say I wanted to trade the 1350 strike now, maybe I think it's going to bounce off of this if it might come a little bit lower, I can click on that. It will bring up my order ticket and it tells me I'm now trading the 13 and a half one. Okay. And maybe now I think it's going to bounce back up and I just want to buy one. I can change my order to a market order. And if I just want to buy one, all right, and notice how my profit and loss is calculating because I'm putting in a market order. It's going to be based on the ask price, whatever I happen to get it at. And I hit place order and it's going to go and execute my order. All right, and it's going to go. And let's go ahead and take a quick little peek now. I'm going to bring my positions tab back up and take a look. Hey, by the way, it looks like I ended up actually buying that one back. So I made in on a demo account a quick $10, and now all I have is I've bought an oil contract and now I'm long one and I want it to close above 1350. I paid 55 and a half. If it closes up above 13 and a half, this contract would go to 100, and maybe I'll just stay with this one. Look at this, oil's rallying right now, and maybe I think that was it. Maybe I think it bottomed out, and in the next 2 hours, again, your decisions, you have to make them, but you can see how you get quite a bit of price action, and you can trade different levels and different strikes, and at any moment in time, the prices that you're seeing on binary options is the probability that at that moment in time, statistically, what the market is telling you, the market is pricing it, the probability that the answer to the question will be yes, that the answer will be true, that it will close higher than 1350. Okay, so that's a bit on binaries and a bit on our charts. I mentioned I was going to do a couple other things. I'm going to click on our markets, and I wanted to show you some touch brackets. So which we are going to be calling knockouts. All right, knockout options. Now, what is a knockout option? Let's go back over and I'm going to click on commodities again, just because crude oil seems to be the fun one. And what am I actually trading? And it's a range. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on one of these, get these markets out of the way, because our charts actually show you everything on what these contracts actually represent. Okay, so notice how we have 4 blue lines over here on the left. Okay, there's 1, there's 2, this dark one, which is the contract I'm on right now, and then there's another one here. Now, the way a knockout works is I try to decide, do I think oil's going up or down? Now, and it's got predefined exit levels. So if I think, let's go ahead and I'm going to pick a different one. All right, let's actually pick this one over here on the left. And it tells you what we're actually looking at. This knockout range is from 1275 to 1775. Okay, it's got $5 range. All right. And so this contract is actually not worth $100. It's worth $500. And notice over here, you can see that when you add up the potential maximum profit or maximum loss, it is a total of $500. Now, the way this works, let's go ahead and buy one of these. I'm going to go ahead and click buy. Okay. And I'm going to use a market order. And if I actually buy one for $13.90, oh wait, hold on. What is going on here? You know what? I'm going to pick a different something strange here. You know what? Actually, I'm going to jump over to. It looks like we might be having some problems with our demo environment in regards to pricing, and that can happen. I mean, this is what happens in a demo environment. We don't get these two-sided markets. So you know what? I'm not going to worry about actually doing a trade, but what I would like to show. Let's go back to these. It doesn't matter what I pick on. We'll pick gold weekly. That's fine. Oh, no, I wanted to go back over to touch brackets. Um, you know what? I'm wondering if we've touched out of all of them. That's a distinct possibility. I mean, the markets have been so volatile, and by the way, this is why you have a different experience in a demo environment than you do in the markets. Um, in any case, uh, God, this is the let's get rid of this. This is the Nasdaq index, and I am going to zoom out. No, I want to zoom out. Sorry. You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to go back because it was easier to see it on the oil because I had multiple levels, and I kind of like that. I liked you to be able to see the different levels. The way it works is if I actually buy this contract. All right, actually, this is the 1075, 1575. If I were to buy one of these, whoops, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to. I actually wanted to keep that order ticket up. All right, the 1075. If I buy one of these contracts, the way a knockout works, if I think oil is going higher, I buy the level 1390. If I were to actually get that price, if oil rallies and it goes up and it touches 1575, the upper range of the knockout, I would be knocked out of the trade for a profit. I would recognize my maximum profit. If I paid $13.90 for this, I would make my $185. However, my lower band is down at 1075. If oil were to drop and touch 1075, again, I would be knocked out of the trade. That's where I would stop my losses in case oil kept going lower, and I would lose $315, but I couldn't lose more than the $315. Now, oddly enough, I mean, oil, we all saw it went negative this week. And everyone's probably asking, how can oil possibly go negative? And the truth of the matter is, I mean, these do settle to a futures contract, the price of a futures contract, and there's only so much storage capabilities for oil. Right? And there is a lot of oil being produced and no one is consuming it. So what that means is it costs money to take physical delivery of oil and store it. You have to have a facility and the capabilities to actually put it in something that's environmentally sound and that you're allowed to take delivery in. And then you need to insure that facility and you have to operate that facility. It costs money to store oil. And what happened this week, a total crazy anomaly, there's no place to store it. People who are producing oil and want to sell it to somebody who will then buy it, store it, and refine it had no place to store it. So you actually had to pay them to take it because they were going to have to find some place to store it and physically store it. And they had no place to do that. So there were simply no buyers. And people who had to get rid of it would just pay anyone just to take it from them. A crazy anomaly in the markets. But can that happen? First time in history it ever has. But the answer to that is apparently yes. So what I wanted to show you though with knockouts is that it is a range. All right, you're trading a range, and if I think it's going to go up, and if I were to trade this range, this range would give me a higher profit potential. All right, because I would want it to go up to the upper band. Um, but my loss potential would be lower because I'd get stopped out if it went down to 1175. So unlike a binary where it's all or nothing, these you're in a range, and if I were to buy it, I know I have my profit goal and I'd be knocked out for my profit. I know I have my loss tolerance that if I were to touch this level, I wouldn't lose anymore. And if it finishes in between this range and it never touches a boundary, when the contract settles, your profit and loss would be the difference between where you bought or sold it and where it settles. So this gives you a little bit more room. It's not an all or nothing proposition. I can think oil's going down, but if I'm wrong, it will stop me out. If I think, and if it does go down, I can profit. If I think it's going to go up, I can buy it, and it's the reverse, but it's not an all or nothing. At settlement, if it's high, if I buy it and it's higher than where I bought it, I would still make some type of profit. Versus a binary where in the end it's all or nothing. It's either goes to 100 or it goes to 0. So it's two great products for you to try to figure out, how do I want to position myself in the markets. And again, just like we had on if you're trading, let's put Bollinger Bands back on. I can put my drawings, I can put my different indicators, my moving average convergence if you're looking for momentum. I can put whatever I want here. I'll put Fibonacci right back on here. And, and you can, and then if I zoom in, let's go ahead and zoom in, and then stretch my my charts out. Well, it looks like I got stuck when I did that. Let's delete all drawings. All right, and let's stretch this back out. Oh, that's moving it around. And by the way, if you want to recenter your chart because you're moving them around, this cool little last price, because you can see I'm clicking around and I'm sliding this graph around. Sometimes you zoom in too close, you zoom in too far, you want to get a different peak. So you can always recenter using this little handy button, latest price. All right, so that's a bit on binaries and knockouts, how you can use charts for technical analysis, how you can trade around positions, whether you want to wait until expiration or not, whether you want to exit a trade early with limit orders. You don't always have to use a market order, and how you got binaries, yes or no contracts, small $100 contracts, knockouts, where you can pick a direction, and if it touches one of the boundaries, you're out of the trade. I did say I was going to mention call spreads, and call spreads are very similar to knockouts, where you pick a direction on the market and it's got a spread. The difference with call spreads is you do have more time. If it hits one of the edges or one of the boundaries, you will not be knocked out of the trade. So if you buy it and it goes to your upper boundary, you won't exit the trade for a profit, and it might keep going, the price might be going higher, and you would have to get out of your trade or wait and see where it settles. But your max profit is capped, your max loss is capped, but you're not knocked out of the trade. And if it were to go down and it touched that boundary and bounced back up, you would have an opportunity to still be right. What I will tell you is, because it has that optionality, there is a little bit of a premium built into the way call spreads trade. All right, so I hope you've been getting some benefit out of this session. I hope you've been hammering Nelson with questions or in the chat box. If you didn't get an answer to your question today, actually, before I jump away, there is one thing I always like to point out. If you are brand new to Nadex and you haven't funded your account yet, up on the account tab, we have done some incredible things to help. Oh, you know what? I've got to be in a live account to show you that. Let me, you know what? Let's do that. Give me 1 second here. I like to show it. I think it's really cool for you guys here. Let me go into my test live account, and it is kind of nice for you to see. If I go into my account and I want to add funds to my account, or if you wanted to add funds to your account, you simply click Add Funds. Adding them through a debit card, it's actually pretty straightforward. You enter in your information, and any funds that you deposit through your debit card are available immediately. You just put in your information, you hit save, add funds. If you wanted to use a different method like wire transfer, we'll tell you, if you do a wire transfer, when you click on that, there's instructions, but the funds will not be available into your account until Nadex actually receives them. The one other way to add funds into your account is you can use a bank transfer ACH. Now, you get real-time funding up to $500 when you do it this way, and then any additional funds wouldn't be available for 3 to 4 business days. And here, if you didn't, If you wanted to do this way, we do use Plaid, which is really slick. If you did not want to use Plaid and you clicked no and you hit continue, you would simply follow the instructions and just be sure to add a checking account that matches your Nadex account. But if your bank is in the US, it is so cool and so easy to use Plaid. You simply say yes, you click continue, and we do use Plaid, so you would, if you didn't use Plaid, you may have to submit additional documentation to verify that account is yours. But if you use Plaid, it'll do all the verification for you, and you click continue, and we're connected. You see your bank, you simply click on it. If you don't see it, you can always search for your bank, but you would then via Plaid, you would connect, you would log into your bank, you'd follow the instructions, and then once your bank account was entered and it was verified, you would see when you clicked add funds, bank transfer, you would see your account right there, and you'd be able to fund it using bank transfer ACH. But again, the fastest, easiest way is debit cards. I do like to show that there is some other account functionality to make things easier. And again, I would like to remind you, we are here to help you. And please let us ask questions, reach out. Um, Here is the phone number again. Here is our customer service email address again. This was an introductory session, so basics on binaries and knockouts, how they work, how you can trade them using the platform. If you don't have a demo account, please sign up for one. It's a great way to get a feel for how the products move. You can practice. It's not going to be the exact experience like live, but it gives you a way to step into the markets. And check out some of our other educational content on the website. If you want to do a deeper dive into binaries or knockouts or call spreads, we've got some things up there. We even every Tuesday do a market update or analysis on what's hot in the market, how you can potentially look at some trade setups. We got a great partner who does that with us. So please leverage us. We've got plenty of resources for you. We're here to help you. And the only way we can do that is if you ask or reach out to us. And with that, I want to say thank you for joining us today and good luck in the markets.